Westman Communications Group would like to take this opportunity to invite all of our members to vote in the election of board members for Westman Communications Group. Members will receive voting ballots for the election in the mail by the middle of November. The ballots will be attached to the annual General Meeting Gazette. Please mail in your eligible ballot as instructed. The election results will be announced on Saturday, December 9th, 2017, at our annual general meeting at the Grand Salon in the Western Manitoba Centennial Auditorium in Brandon. There are 10 candidates, and you may vote for up to 4 nominees. Elected directors will serve 1 3-year term and can serve a maximum of 2 consecutive terms. The directors elected to the board represent the interests of the members in the governance of the cooperative. It's easy to participate. Take the ballot you received in the mail attached to the annual General Meeting Gazette. Just mark an X on the ballot beside the name of the candidates you feel best represents your interests. You can vote for up to 4 candidates. After marking your ballot, place it in the provided postage-paid envelope and place it in the mail. BDO Canada LLP will then tabulate the votes. Your ballot must be received by BDO Canada LLP no later than 2 p.m. Thursday, December 7th, 2017. As members of your cooperative, this is your opportunity to have input into the kinds of services that will be offered. Fill out your ballot and you'll be entered into a draw to win a 55-inch high-definition TV. The winner will be announced at the annual general meeting on Saturday, December 9th, 2017. And now, Westman Communications Group would like to present you with the candidates running for election to the Board of Directors for 2017-2018.
My name is Andrew Sinishin. I currently live in Brandon, and I'm a criminal defense lawyer, and I operate my own firm, AJS Law. Well, I've been involved in a number of community boards before. I love getting involved in both my community with different organizations. I find that I'm able to relate to people well. I'm able to help engage with others in the community. And I feel that ultimately I'm able to bring a sense of purpose as well as dedication to any of the roles I take on. So ultimately I think that I'm someone who's dedicated to a cause, that I see a need for community involvement, and something that follows through on various projects and endeavors I take on. Well, I think there might be a few issues that Westman Communications is facing. I know that lately the trend has been to unbundling of services, and Westman provides a number of different types of service and products to people, and being able to remain competitive in that field. Also, we've seen obviously a move more towards internet-based service, Netflix, various types of television, and ways of providing content. I think it's important for Westman to always make sure that it's at the forefront of that and being able to meet those new challenges and the various ways that people are receiving services in the community. Well, in terms of contributions, I always find that I like to ask questions, making sure that people are held accountable for what they do and they say. So I'd hope that being part of the board, I'd be able to bring some of that with me. It doesn't mean that I would ever look to chastise someone or perhaps call people's integrity into question, but it's definitely important that as a board representing a number of people in the community, a number of stakeholders, that we have the answers we need and the right information. I think I'd be someone that could help the board get that. Well, I think one of the biggest roles it plays is bringing the community together. Westman is spread over a large area. We're not a centralized location. And so with everyone being in different parts of the area, they need to be able to be connected, either through phone, internet, television. I think Westman has a very important role to play in doing that and being one of the centralizing features of the area. So being able to connect people, provide services, and obviously serve all the communities together, I think is their biggest role. The board's role is one of oversight, making sure that we're meeting our goals, we're performing where we should be at, as well as meeting our obligations to our stakeholders. So it's obviously not necessarily one of every day-to-day involvement, making sure that we're following the right path and that we're providing the services that we're supposed to be providing to everybody that matters. I'd like to be able to serve the community of Brandon and Westman. I'm not originally from here. I originally moved from Winnipeg. I met my wife through Souris, and I've fallen in love with the area. I've moved here and been living here since 2011. I now have a home here, children here. I've been involved in the community, and I believe this is one of the best ways to give back, by being involved in this community and helping it prosper. So I really want to get involved in the larger Westman community and just be someone that's helping with ongoing efforts and making this place the best place to be. I don't think I'm your usual candidate. I am a criminal defense lawyer, so I'm not somebody that's necessarily really involved in the business world, but I have started my own firm. I've been living in the community for a long time, since 2011, and I think I'm a bit of a fresh face. I'm somebody that might bring different perspective, ask different questions, but also see different opportunities. And so giving that sort of a bit of a fresh opportunity and bringing some new ideas to the board is, I think, important. I think that's why members should be supporting me in my bid for the board.
I'm Terry Fair, and I'd like to thank Westman for this opportunity. I live in Gladstone with my wife, Laura, and we have 2 children who are both in university now. And what do I do? Well, I'm retired from commercial honey production business, commercial beekeeping, if you will. I still have a few hives. I spend significant time in the investment management business, and I do some tax prep for another business. I have a Bachelor of Science from Bemidji State. I have a diploma in agriculture from the University of Manitoba. And I've sat on a number of boards over the years. Most recently, I sat on the Manitoba Rural Adaptation Council and board and chaired that. While I was chair, we set up the Assiniboine River Basin Initiative, ARBI, and I sat on their executive for a couple of years while they were becoming established. In the past, I've chaired the Provincial Beekeepers Association and a few other boards. I sat on the local town council as well. Westman is, in my view, like publicly traded telecoms in many respects. They have challenges with the rapidly advancing technologies and how to provide those technologies to their customers. Doubly so in rural areas where it's much more expensive. So trying to keep up with technology and containing costs are 2 issues I see with Westman. I've been self-employed my entire life through my career, and Westman is a business. I can make decisions for our members based on what's best for the members. Sometimes if we haven't run a business, some decisions are difficult, and that will not be a problem for me. If Westman can provide the very best up-to-date services that the communities that are members of the cooperative require, I think that's their role, to do the best job that they can in their communications field. That's a very good question for anyone seeking a board of directors position. The board of directors sets policy, it sets direction, and then the CEO takes that direction and administers on a day-to-day basis within the company. Essentially, the buck stops with the board of directors. So the board of directors is responsible for the company and gives direction. Westman provides services to our communities that I think are fundamental for our growth and prosperity as a community, as well as an individual. I don't think there's any other role that an individual citizen can play in our local communities than by taking part with Westman Communications. I think it's very important. Anyone who knows me knows that I do the very best job I can with whatever I decide to undertake. There's no half-hearted effort. There'll be no regrets from anyone who votes for me to become a member of the board of directors of Westman. I look forward to the opportunity, and I'll certainly, I think, do the very best I can on behalf of members.
My name is Susan Breckman. I was born and raised in the city of Brandon, and I still call it home. I am officially retired, but I do work a couple of days at a doctor's office. I also am a volunteer for the Canadian Red Cross as an instructor, and I volunteer for Mecca Productions. I've served on this board for many years. I've spent time learning about communications, cooperatives, and the running of this company. I've served on other boards in the community, such as the United Way, Kinsman and Connect Clubs of Canada, and most lately, the Mecca Arts Project Board. I know we have competition in the marketplace. Remaining current in technology and marketing play a huge role in our business. For sure, we're at a slight disadvantage because we don't have a cell service. But I also know that we have superior internet speeds. TiVo is a great addition to our entertainment services, and you cannot beat our customer service. I'm a logical thinker. I enjoy the board process and how it functions. And I'm already familiar with Westman Communications. I think my opinions and my ideas have been welcomed at the board, and I'm ready to continue that trend. Obviously, to deliver the best communication and entertainment, which they do. Our community can be proud that it's a local company that delivers the services to our members. Westman Communication provides high school scholarships. They have staff that work at not-for-profits. And also board members and staff go out to a community every year, put on a barbecue, and all the proceeds go to that community. The role of the board is to ensure the success of the company, working with the CEO and the other managers, reviewing the finances and strategies are necessary to running a company. The board meets monthly so that they're up to speed in this ever-changing environment. I have to say that my experience with this board has been very positive. Since joining the board, I've really enjoyed learning about what it takes to run a successful company. I'm proud to say that I was on the committee that spearheaded rewarding our loyal members with equity payments. I think experience is a really good asset on this board. I'll be honest and say that there is a steep learning curve when you first start. But I have a good handle on what we do and what the company is about. And as I said, there's challenges out there, and I'm ready to face them.
I'm Lauren Zacharias. I'm the General Manager of the Heritage Co-op based in Minnedosa, and we live in Minnedosa as well. In working with retail boards, I've got in excess of 30 years experience in working with boards of retail co-ops, and I believe it brings a lot of understanding of the co-op business model. In addition to that, there's areas of marketing, of finance, of human resources that I've dealt with over my career that I believe have prepared me fairly well for these sorts of experiences. In the industry that is as high-paced as media and the types of industries that the Westman Communications is involved in, I believe that the opportunity to be nimble and to respond to members' needs is a very important piece of that, but certainly will provide challenges in the future as well. There's big competitors in this type of industry, and certainly there is an opportunity for an organization like this. The understanding of the co-op business model and the strengths that it brings is something that I believe I can certainly bring to the board. In addition to the connection to the community, I believe that there's certainly a connection in my day-to-day life, in my day job, that relates very well to the community. As a cooperative, in the community, being responsive to members is an important part of any cooperative. And certainly I believe this one has a good connection with community, and that's important. I believe that the sustainability of communities has a real connection to any grassroots organization such as a co-op like this. A board of directors is designed around setting policy, around representing members, and good governance. It really is about seeing that the organization is well run and from a policy and oversight standpoint. I'd like to become a board member in order to give back to the community. I've been involved in most of the communities we've ever lived in quite an extensive way, and I believe this is just a good opportunity to plug in and for me to personally grow and learn more about a very dynamic business. I believe that I bring a connection to the community. I have an open ear. I can listen to and respond to members' needs. And the understanding of the co-op business model, I believe I can bring that to the board as well.
I'm Jillian Potter, and I currently reside here in Brandon, Manitoba. And currently, I am employed as a business account manager with RBC Royal Bank. I have over 20 years of experience in the customer service industry, as well as a background in finance and banking. I have been on many different boards and organizations in the past, which allows me to understand and know how boards work and how to be running an effective and efficient board meeting to ensure that the proper and details are brought forth, discussions had, and decisions made for boards. Well, technology is changing at a very rapid pace, and not only the technology, but the way that we use technology is changing. So Westman Communications has always been a leader in the technology field, and I feel that with their continued dedication to development and research will help them stay on top of that. As well as customer service. I think customer service is always very important in any organization, because not only are we compared to similar organizations, but to any great customer experiences that we have out there. This way we want to ensure that we're always providing the best customer service to keep our customers happy and returning to Westman Communication Group. I feel that I'm open-minded, open to suggestions, and definitely feel that my history with banking, financing, and as well on different boards and organizations allows me the ability to pull in from all of that information and help make the best decisions through discussions around the table to ensure that Westman Communication Group continues to be a thriving business. I feel that as a co-op, the Westman Communication Group has a responsibility to its members and the communities that its members live in. They've done a great job in the past of supporting when needed and what is needed in the communities through many things like scholarships, sponsorships, as well as just volunteer from their staff members in the communities. So I think that that continued on with the group, as well as looking for different and innovative ways to get into the communities and show their support back to them. I believe that with any role on a board of directors is there to be the sounding board for an organization. They're there for management or the organization to bring up ideas, questions, maybe different things that they want to do to the board so that the board can have a good discussion, look at many different options of things that should or maybe should not be done, and then come to a conclusion where a parameter is put in place for the management team to go ahead and run the day-to-day operations of any organization. I believe in giving back to our communities, and I've been a strong volunteer in many of the years and many of the communities that I have been in. I feel that when I look for some place to get involved, I want to be with an organization that is forward-thinking, community-orientated, as well as giving back to the community. And I feel that Westman Communications Group definitely does this. I believe I have a working knowledge on how a board is to be run so that they can be effective and efficient in the decisions that they're making. As well, I believe that my past experience will help me to be able to bring things forward to the organization and help them continue on to be the best when it comes to information technology and services and products that's out there. So I look forward to your vote and continuing on to be a board of director.
My name is Chris Sobchuk. I've lived in Brandon, Manitoba for the last 49 years. I have owned a company called Allen Lee Security and Communications for over the last 20 years. I've recently sold it to Protelic Alarms, a Manitoba-based company. I'm now the Ag Division Manager for their product line called Precision Cam, which allows farmers to basically monitor their livestock during calving seasons. We have another product line called an implement camera, which allows them to basically check into their seeding and harvesting equipment to make sure they're running efficiently. And we also do farmyard security products. I've ran Allen Lee Security and Communications for over 20 years, so being with the business, I have a good understanding of what it requires to operate a business, as well as understand what the customers are looking for from a business. So I feel that I can basically bring a lot of ideas, as well as compassion for the customers, as well as understand the profitability of a company. I think as all businesses face basically a number of different things. One is marketing, understanding where and what their product and that stuff requires to do for their members. Keeping and retaining with the current technologies, making sure we're leading edge, as well as keeping and training proper staff to make sure that we are able to support and service our customers and our members. Being a past business person, being able to understand the business side as well as the customer side, I think I can bring different points of views from both parties, basically being involved within the technology aspect and understanding a lot of the technology. I think I can bring in new ideas and new outlooks I believe Westman Communications Group's role in the community is to basically supply proper telecommunications products and services to its members, being either residential or commercial, as well as giving back to the community and supporting the community in helping out schools with their internet, and to help out sponsoring larger complex like the Keystone Center and providing services above and beyond what the standard companies will provide. I perceive the role as someone that's basically should help out in making some of the important decisions within the organization to make sure the members are getting service properly, as well as we're staying upon the newest technology for the group. I've been a member for the last 20 years. I'm excited and have been excited to be part of them for the last 20 years. They offer a very good product. They're always updating to the newer technology, and they're providing us with many options that we're able to utilize. I want to be a part of it. I feel my past business experience, that stuff should help out with helping the group to do the best decisions for the members. I'm honest, I'm trustworthy, I like technology. I feel I can help in a lot of different areas for the company and for the organization, as well as the members. I'm excited to, and I want to thank everybody for the opportunity to go onto the board, hopefully, and service you.
Hello, I'm Neil Thompson. I'm living here in the city of Brandon, and I'm recently retired from the general manager of the Keystone Center here in Brandon. I think I bring a variety of skills and experience to the director's position. I have a Bachelor of Commerce degree from the University of Manitoba, so a major in business and marketing. That was my education experience. From a work experience point of view, as I mentioned already, I'm the former general manager of the Keystone Center. So I was at the Keystone Center for 5.5 years. 4 out of our 5 years, we were able to generate a positive local bottom line for the facility. So we were really pleased about that. Prior to being the general manager of the Keystone Center, I was part of the executive team at Westman Media Cooperative. I was the director of sales and marketing for Westman for a period of 20 years. So quite an extensive period of time here at Westman. Part of the duties that I did here at the co-op was that I was president of the Canadian Cable Standards Foundation. Now, this was a foundation set up at the time to work with a variety of cable operators across Canada and working with them in improving their customer service. So that was one example of some of the things that I did here at Westman. Prior to working at Westman, I was an employee of Federated Co-op Limited. Federated Co-op is the wholesaler to many of the retail cooperatives in Western Manitoba and in Western Canada. So I happened to be a petroleum representative for Federated Co-op. So I worked with a number of retail cooperatives in Western Manitoba, as well as a lot of members as well. So my territory was from as far south as Deloraine and Boissevain, and as far north as Swan River, Flin Flon. So I've got a good experience of the territory, of co-op organizations, and experience in the business as well. So I think that's all a good combination of education, experience, and knowledge to bring to this position as a director. In this area of technology that Westman operates in, it's always a challenge. It was a challenge previously, and it's a challenge going forward. I think with the advent of all the online technology, the ability to receive programming through the internet, that will and continues to be a challenge for Westman. So it's something that I'm sure they're working hard at addressing. In addition, recently, MTS was purchased by Bell. Bell obviously is a national competitor, very large organization that operates systems across Canada, but also owns a lot of the content production as well. So having them in as a competitor to Westman is also a challenge. The aspect of that declining entertainment dollar, or I should say more requests for that entertainment dollar, will continue to be a challenge for Westman. So it's important that the organization looks at what it can provide to its members through additional products and services, and bringing those to the market to those customers as they see fit and are willing to spend on. So those are the things I see as some of the challenges for Westman. I go back to my previously presentation of a combination of skills and experience that I can bring to the board. So with my experience that I've had in business through Westman itself, or through the experience learned at the Keystone Center, I think that would be very beneficial in working with and as a director of the cooperative. My experience in working with different groups. In the Keystone Center position, I had to work with numerous different groups across not only in Western Manitoba, but in other areas as well. So I think it's beneficial for me to bring that skill set to Westman in order to work with different groups and with different stakeholders. So I think a combination of education and experience are all good things to bring as a board of director. I think Westman can provide a very important role into Western Manitoba and the communities it serves. Currently, Westman does things like the scholarship program. They do sponsorship of a variety of community events in a variety of the communities, and as fundraisers as well. So again, I would like to see them continue that type of involvement in the community and build upon what they've done already. With the involvement in technology, I think Westman has the ability to introduce more technology into Brandon and into other communities as well, and that can be a great asset to those communities of bringing in that new technology. So I think that's very beneficial. The board of directors should be able to provide leadership to the CEO and the rest of the management team of the cooperative. So I think that's an important role that directors can provide. With, as well, I think having the ability to experience the service as a customer in the last number of years, that's been good. So I can provide a sounding board back to the executive on what is the experiences people are feeling out there when they utilize the products and services. And finally, to be a conduit, an entity that can bring information from members, from users of the products and services back to management. I think it's beneficial with the structure of the cooperative that they have the ability to be out in the marketplace with their board of directors, getting feedback from their customers and members all the time. So I think that's all beneficial. I believe I have the time in order to put into the director's position in order to help out the cooperative in becoming better. The organization itself is a big supplier of technology in Western Manitoba, and I think that's very important. We need that technology in order to be a driver, an economic driver for other components of the economy in Western Manitoba. So I think I can help in both those areas. I think I have a good combination of skills and experience. You know, previously I've outlined the experience I've had in business here, the experience with Westman itself. I've had lots of experience in board organizations as well. So I think those combinations would be beneficial to the co-op. And I'm certainly willing to put in the time in order to improve the company as well. So I think I can bring a lot of skills and experience to the position, and I really look forward to people voting for me.
My name is Brian McVicker. I've lived here in Brandon for over 31 years. I've been retired for the past 5. I raised a family here, 2 boys, and I spent 38 plus years working for Manitoba government, the NWT, and back to Manitoba in the Department of Justice Corrections. So, I've been fortunate enough to have been director for WCG for I've had 4 terms over the past 16 years. I have a Bachelor of Arts degree from University of Winnipeg, graduated in 1974. And like I say, I think I've been a senior manager, like I say, for various governments in the Department of Justice for 38 years, managing programs and budgets and people. So I think that experience was brought to bear as a director here for WCG. Well, Westman Communications Group has always been in a very fast-moving business. It's always had fierce competition, especially recently with the Bell MTS acquisition. One of the things that MTS or WCG has always been hard-pressed to find is a way to provide cell service to its members. So that'll be one of the things that we'll continue striving to do. The big boys, MTS, Bell, and the rest have basically made it very difficult for companies the size of WCG to get into the business, so that's always one of the big priorities. The other things is to continue being what WCG is best known for, which is extremely reliable and very fast and sound broadband internet service. That's been the cornerstone of the modern day WCG. Continuing as well to provide good radio service, and with our 2 stations, as well as the new acquisition of the FM CKLQ Q Country station, is something that they'll continue to improve on. So those, I think, trying to continue down the road we have been, and being the fastest and most reliable service provider for Westman is something that WCG will build on. I think I can continue to contribute in that I've had 4 terms as a director with WCG now over the past 16 years. The business has changed a lot. I think I have given that experience a better appreciation for where it's been and where it is going, and I'm very excited about the path it's taking based on a lot of good strategic decisions it's made and those investments over the years. I think also my 38 years as a senior public servant and dealing with budgets and programs and people has helped me, I think, better able to grasp and get along with people and help make the board as effective as possible. I think WCG, first of all, it is a cooperative, and I think it takes its role as being very much part of the community. It demonstrates that responsibility in a number of ways. It has contributed over the past 21 years something in excess of $320,000 to high school graduates in forms of $500 scholarships over the years. It has promoted dozens and dozens of local charities every year, not just in Brandon, but throughout Westman. It's been voted on as one of the top employers in Canada for 2 years running. That's not something that one should just dismiss in kind, because it's very important, I think, to be known as a great employer, and it's got a good workforce and an excellent CEO and executive, and it shows. So that those awards don't come lightly. It also contributes to the whole Westman area by supporting the various councils throughout the region, which is part of the community access and WCG TV. And like I say, it also provides, unlike its competitors, our customers are our members, and so the members get patronage allocations in the form of dividends, for lack of a better term. And I think Westman has done that for approximately 6 years now, and that has amounted to nearly $3 million. So it does a lot in its community, and it's by far heads and shoulders over its competitors in all those areas. The board of directors is an advisory role, and it also participates in helping to set the strategic direction for the company. And a director basically provides time to prepare for the regular board meetings every month. There's a package that comes out, and it's the director's responsibility to fully disseminate that information, to come prepared for the regular meetings, and to participate in the various discussions and decisions that are made. And like I say, there's a lot of work involved if you want to do a good job, and I think the board has been blessed with a very effective executive committee and a very strong CEO, which helps to guide the board in ways that basically demonstrates, well, that's the big reason why I think WCG is as financially sound as it is today, is because a lot of decisions the executive and the board has participated in over the years. So that's what we do. Well, like I say, I've been fortunate to have had 4 terms as a director with WCG. It's something that I've come to really enjoy. I've learned about WCG's history, very proud of its history and where it's come from, and very excited about what it's doing now and its future. I think as a board member, I can continue to contribute. Like I said before, I would love to see WCG eventually get cell phone service if we can, if it's financially viable. It's very difficult to compete against the big boys in the business. The communications and entertainment business is a fast-changing environment, and I'm very proud of the way WCG has managed to compete with the big boys, and it has done so, like I say, it punches way above its weight in this area, and it'll continue to do so, and I'd like to be part of that as well. Well, as I've said a couple of times before, I've been in this community for 31 years. I've been a member of WCG for all those years. I've been a board of director 4 times now over the past 16 years, and Brandon's my home. I think I've demonstrated a commitment to the business. I like what WC has done. I like their place in the community. I like the fact that it's a cooperative and gives back to its members and to the community. And as a board of director, I think I'd love to keep trying to keep WCG doing what it's doing, and that's being a strong service provider with cable and TV and big broadband provider to the area, and to make sure our radio stations, they're state of the art, and I'd like to see them maintain their presence in Westman and grow. So I ask for your vote one more time. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Nathan Pito. I live in the city of Brandon with my wife Tying and my 2 boys, Noah, who is 8, and Henry is 5. And I work as the manager of corporate initiatives at the city of Brandon, where we work largely with policy and legislation. When I think of qualifications and skills that are valuable for this position, I think someone's familiar with board governance. I've had the opportunity to be a chair of a board when I was the president of the Students' Union at Brandon University. I've also had the chance to be the administrative side when I was the general manager of the Brandon Chamber of Commerce. So I have a lot of understanding of how board governance works and how it functions and the importance, the role of a board. Also, I work currently at the city as a manager of corporate initiatives, so I have an understanding of how big organizations work and function. I think that'd be valuable coming towards the Westman board, because it's a big organization, has a lot of moving parts, and I think it'll be really interesting to work with. From an educational perspective, I did my Bachelor of Arts here in Political Science right here at Brandon University, followed up with a Certificate in Municipal Administration at the University of Manitoba, and I'm just wrapping up my Master's in Public Administration at the University of Victoria. So hopefully all those skills and education will become useful in my role, hopefully, as a board member. When I think of some of the issues facing Westman Communications Group, I think about the pace of technology. It's rapidly changing. A 10-year period can move very quickly on what customers expect as a basic for service and delivery. I also think about competition. Competition is a lot more strenuous than it used to be. We have to continuously prove that we're the valuable service we're providing to our customers and our members of the cooperative. And then, of course, I think about local content. It's something that I've always thought is very important. As the world becomes more interconnected, sometimes that local content gets cut out, and Westman has to be that voice and that effort to make sure that we continue to produce quality local content. When I think of the skills that I can bring to the board, I think of a lot through my experience. I've worked with a lot of boards in this community, and it's something that I understand I understand the objective and goals of boards of directors, and it's something I hope to bring to it. Also, I have a passion for technology. I love technology and the advances that have been happening over the 10 years, and I want to see Westman Communications keep up with that and continue to invest in technology. And then finally, I just have a passion for this organization, and I'd like to see it continue to grow and succeed. I think Westman Communications Group has a great reputation in this community, and deservedly so. They're great producers of local content. They're great sponsors of everything from local events to scholarships for students. They have a good reputation, and I think it's important to maintain that reputation. And that's something I would look to make sure that we continue to do, and that we are involved in the community should I be elected to the board of directors. When I think of the role of the board of directors, I really think of the organization that's really to establish the vision for the organization in conjunction with the management team, also to provide a sounding board to the management team on new ideas and new initiatives that this organization is thinking about. And then finally is always to be that ear to the ground to the cooperative and the members to bring back those concerns to that board and hopefully deal with them at that level. So when I first moved to Brandon as a kid, I remember being so impressed by our first cable television and seeing all those channels, and that actually got me encouraged to be involved with the local content, and I served as a cameraman and covered things like the fall fair, local music, even city council meetings. And I always thought Westman Communications was something pretty special in this community, and that's why I've always maintained our membership and maintained a subscriber to their services. And I always wanted to get involved at some level, and I saw this opportunity and I decided to take it. So I'm looking forward to it, and I hope I can be involved with it. When I think why members should vote for me, I think, well, first I'd like to ask members to vote for me. I'd like to vote for me because I have a lot of experience and knowledge on how boards work. I have a passion for the Westman Communications Group, and I think it's a valuable asset to our community. And I'd be very pleased to represent them on that board and help to see Westman Communications Co-op continue to grow and succeed.
Hi, my name is David Leach. I was born and raised in Brandon, Manitoba. I live in Brandon. My occupation, I'm a former partner owner with Leach Printing, where I was the sales manager for most of my career. I feel I'm qualified to run for the board for Westman Communications Group because I do have many years of experience dealing with management as well as staff, as well as being in sales. I have a good understanding of customers' needs and requirements, so I feel that gives me some strengths that I can bring to the board. Some of the issues that I feel are facing Westman Communications Group are the rapid change of technology. These days with social media and internet services, I think the challenges that Westman Communications will have in the future are to stay relevant to its customers, by providing relevant content and meeting the expectations of services that the customers need. I think I can contribute to the board by bringing a fair and balanced perspective. I'm not afraid to ask certain questions of management on behalf of the members. And I think with my experience on previous boards, I think I can offer some value. I believe that Westman Communications' role in the community has been to provide services through television, radio, phone, and internet. They have a local philosophy about bringing content to the area, whether it is news or community programming. And I think those are very viable and valuable services. Westman Communications is a partner in the community. They give back to the communities that they serve. And I think that just shows how solid they are as a community leader. It's a win-win for the region as well as Westman Communications. I believe the role of a director is to provide a balanced approach, representing the members' concerns and being the link between the members and the management, as well as listening to the community and offering advice and opinions that are relevant and guidance for change if necessary. I'd like to serve Westman Communications Group because I believe I have a broad experience not only in business. I do believe I understand the community needs, and having experience serving on other boards, I think I have something to gain by learning about the organization, and I think I can help guide or offer an opinion to the management and share around the board table that's relevant. I'm prepared to ask serious questions on behalf of the members. I'm prepared to address management directly, and I believe the board should be accountable to the community on behalf of its members, and I believe I have the abilities to do that. And I believe my opinions will be valued at the board level on behalf of the members that we serve.
We hope that by meeting the candidates, you have become better informed about the issues facing Westman Communications Group, now and in the future. Remember, this is your cooperative. Don't miss your opportunity to vote.